And we're live, man. What's going on? What's going on, people? Yeah, the Quags in the chat already. Shout out to the Quags. Number one. Omni Surge Media coming in at number two. What's going on, boys? How you doing? How you doing? You know, obviously with Google Hangouts coming towards an end, there may not be a few streams for a while I work out what to do next. But yeah, this I'll definitely stream again in the future, but there might be a few weeks without streams. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Just bear that in mind. Yo, Ped in the chat, what's going on, man? Dominic Chechery, yeah, what you watching? What film are you watching? I watched a couple of movies over the weekend. Layer Cake, really enjoyed that film. Great film. And Goodfellas, I've not seen that in so long. Had one of those weekends where I just chilled, watched movies. It was all right, man. It was all right. Okay, the festival, yeah, it's got the guy out of In Betweeners in it, yeah. Yo, Just K in the chat. What's going on, Just K? How you doing, man? How you doing? Wait for a few more people to get in, and yeah, man, we'll talk some boxing. We'll talk some boxing. Unrivaled boxing talking news in the chat. Coming in there with that inappropriate language. Hashtag me too. Look at that shit, man. Jesus. Yeah, we got Next Gen on Friday. Unfortunately, Lewis Ritson versus Joe Hughes is now off. Joe Hughes picked up a injury. That was a really good fight. I'm a bit disappointed with that, but could be a few good prospects on that card, I guess. But that main event was really good. It really was. Yeah, man, we've got a few people in here already. Yeah, Dominic, same. I felt that was a really good fight. Great domestic fight. And to be honest, I really felt Joe Hughes had a good chance. Maybe it's best for Ritson he pulled out, you know. I felt Joe Hughes would give him a lot of problems. But, you know, we're not going to see that now. So we'll see what happens next. I think Lewis Ritson is still on the card. But I doubt he's going to be fighting anybody any good, unfortunately. Especially at this late stage. I can't see it. They'll just keep him busy, give him a knockover job. And I think in the fall, you will see Lewis Ritson versus Robbie Davis Jr. I think that's the plan. PED, too much trying to survive in this heat. Where you at, man? Where do you live? America? UK? It's not too bad over here at the minute. It's okay. It's okay. It's not too bad. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? How you doing? I agree, Dominic. I felt Ritson versus Hughes was pretty much a 50-50. Unrivaled boxing talk and news in here with that Sokolovsky just disrespect. Joey DeWaco knocks out Sokolovsky. I don't see it. I mean, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Apparently, DeWaco was lucky against Rodney Hernandez. Now, I've got to confess, I've not seen the fight. But I've heard Rodney Hernandez was very unfortunate not to get a decision. But I need to see that fight. I can't lie. I do need to see it. But my boy Sokolovsky could outwork him. He could outwork him. Yo, what's up, Frank? Shout out to Frank the French. Coming from Nottingham. Okay, Ped, you're from Scotland. Yeah, it's been decent the last week or two over here. The last couple of days have been a bit rainy, but yeah, we've had some nice days recently, man. We've had some nice days. I'll tell you what, lads, mate, go outside. The talent about is unreal. Like I was in London the other week, and fuck me, Jesus Christ. The women, man, I kid you not, that's all over the gaff. Jesus. All over the gaff. Yeah, Ben, I agree. DeWaco does have good boxing skills, but he's so small for heavyweight. He's so small, man. He's a small, fat guy who's got good skills. Good quick hands. He can throw his shots together, nice combinations. But yeah, he's just undersized. Good defensively, though. He's good defensively. Yeah, what's up, Sean? How you doing, man? Oh, you've been in Germany. Are you in Germany? Okay. Yo, Tone in the chat. You know it, Tone. Of course the first is real. What are you talking about? Of course the first is real. Jesus Christ. We are all a bunch of degenerates in this chat. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Aggie, man? How you doing? Joe Blow in the chat. How quick does Kaunetsky KO Areola? I think Areola will be competitive for a couple of rounds, and then Kaunetsky gets on top of him. I would say Kaunetsky gets him out of there in round 5, maybe round 6, mid-rounds, I would say. But Areola, to me, he's seen better days. He's well past it. He's had a long career. Kaunetsky is fresher. He's younger, coming off more momentum. He should win this fight, and he should win it well, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, the best fight on that card is Curtis Stevens versus Wale Amatuso. That's a good fight. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay, Sean's traveling. He's in Germany. I've never been to Germany. Wouldn't mind going. I'd love to go to the beer festival in October. That'd be great. That'd be great. Yo, Azzy, man. What's going on, Azzy? How you doing? Frank. Sean Newton v LDB Slayer. Yes, sir. Box, he's asking Dominic, 55 million plus Cenk Tosun and MacArthur, deal or no deal for Zaha? I think that's a respectable offer. If I was Palace, I would take it, I'd take it. I don't think Zaha's that good. As a United fan, I've seen him play. I think he spent the most time in the penalty area in the Premier League. But if you look at that, it's not like the guy gets a bag full of goals and assists. Zaha's a good player, but is he worth that much? I'm not sure personally. I'm not sure. Yeah, no, Box. We get a 25% sell-on fee. That's a good thing for us. Yeah, we would do quite well out of that. Frank, did you see my earlier comment about Gervonta Dell? Let's have a look in the chat. Sorry, Frank. Okay, yeah. Can we speak about Gervonta actually stepping up and fighting decent opponents? Still, surely he's got to step up to 135 and fight Loma if he thinks he's that good. For me, listen, I obviously I would love to see Tank Davis fight Lomachenko, but I'm not hard to please. All I would like to see is him fight decent guys in his own division. Other champions, guys like Tevin Farmer, even Jamel Herring, guys with belts. Try to unify. Maybe even fight Miguel Berchelt. That's the toughest fight in the division. If Tank Davis were to fight Berchelt next, I think even the most ardent Tank haters would give him credit for taking that fight. The fights are there for him in his division. But the people around him, his promoters, Floyd, they just seem so intent to wrap him up in cotton wool. It's really strange because I think Tank Davis is a really good talent. I think he's a really good talent, and I believe he can beat anybody in that division at super featherweight. I mean, I would put a lot of money on him beating Jamel Herring and Tevin Farmer. Just get those fights made, get those belts. But for whatever reason, they are. I don't know. I'm not sure what their game is. I'm not sure what their game is. Sean Newton, Liverpool need Fernandez. I think United need Fernandez, man. I think we need him, to be honest with you. I mean, United right now, I mean, Harry Maguire, I mean, he's a good defender, but like 80 million? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that, man. Azzy in the chat, anybody knows when Gassiev and Usyk will come back? I heard Usyk is coming back in the fall, like around September time, October time. Gassiev, no idea. No idea at all. Levi Khan, Canelo Alvarez versus Derevyanchenko next is a shame, in my opinion. Well, apparently Canelo and Kovalev have reopened negotiations for October, so that fight could actually happen. We'll see what happens there. But Derevyanchenko, I mean, the guy's a top 10 middleweight. He's the IBF mandatory. I've not really got any problem with Canelo fighting Derevyanchenko, to be quite honest. I'm not that fussed about it. It's not a brilliant fight, but Derevyanchenko, he ran Danny Jacobs extremely close. He's a solid contender, in my opinion. Yeah, Sean and Tone, I agree. Tone says Zaha is a show pony. And yeah, Sean says Zaha isn't worth that much. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Okay, Box, yeah. Usyk Takam in October. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Levi Khan, I heard that. Terence Crawford versus Collazo. I would rather him fight Kavalauskas, if I'm being honest. If he's fighting anybody on that side, I would rather it be Kavalauskas. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Sean, that's what I'm saying. Tank just needs to fight top 10 130 guys. Even if he doesn't fight other champions, you've got good guys like Jojo Diaz or Andrew Cancio. I know Cancio has a belt, but technically he's not like the real WBA champion, even though that's BS. But Cancio, Jojo Diaz, these are good names. They're good names. Yeah, exactly. You mentioned Jojo Diaz, yeah. CJW, he says Tank Davis is the best at 130 easily. I wouldn't be surprised. But my thing is, I think he needs to prove it, really. He looks the part. He really does. He looks the part. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. He needs to fight these guys. Levi Khan, Golovkin versus Murata next. That's a mismatch. Is that official? I've not heard any talk of that fight. If it happened, I think Murata's a top 10 middleweight. I think he's a solid guy. So I've not really got a problem with that fight, to be honest with you. I mean, elite fighters in their division, like the minimum requirement surely is to fight a top 10 contender. I would say Murata is a top 10 contender. So I've not got a big problem with it, to be honest with you. I'm not too fussed about it. I'm not saying it's a brilliant fight, but it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, Sean Newton, that's what I'm saying. Gervonta Davis versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. Exactly. I mean, come on now. I know Gamboa knocked out Roman Martinez, but Martinez was shot to bits. That's a massacre, Tank Davis versus Gamboa at this stage. Years ago, that would have been a great fight. If Tank was around back then, it would have been a great fight. But now, no way. No way. CJW, when is Gennady Golovkin not in a mismatch unless it's Canelo? Yeah, exactly. Danny Jacobs was one. Other than that, we're struggling, Levi Khan, Errol Spence will easily beat Porter. He's too young and big. I certainly believe Errol Spence is going to beat Porter. Will he do it easily, though? I'm not sure. I'm not that convinced he will do it easily. I think Errol Spence might look human in this fight. Wouldn't be surprised if Porter kind of smothers him and ties him up at times. Has a few scrappy rounds here and there. I expect Errol Spence to win. I think he'll win on points, but he may not look that destructive doing it. But he will certainly land the cleaner work, the better work, and he will win the fight. Ben Haynes, he likes Gennady Golovkin versus Murata. Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle on it. I don't think it's a great fight. I don't think it's a bad fight. It's a decent fight. It's a decent fight. Yeah, Joe Blow, Tank fighting a 50-year-old Gamboa. Yeah, exactly. Gamboa is done. When Gamboa was getting beaten up by Robinson Castellanos, that's when he knew he was done. He's done. Frank says, I'm United. Leicester want 90 million for Harry. He didn't train today, sick apparently. So hopefully the wheels are in motion. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Maguire, listen, I'm not sold on Maguire, but he's certainly better than what we've got right now, in my opinion. I think he's a lot better than what we've got. You know, Smalling, Jones, Eric Bailly. I think he's better than all of these guys. I was really excited about Eric Bailly when he come in, but he's not panned out. He's really not panned out. I think there's a good player in Victor Lindelof with the right centre back partner. Maybe Maguire could be that guy. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. I joined your league, Dell. Thank you very much. Yeah, lads, I am doing a fantasy football league, for the YTBC. If anybody wants to join, I've made a video about it. The details are there. Just a bit of fun. No prizes or anything like that. Just a laugh. See who comes out on top. Anybody wants to join, check out that video on my channel, and the information is there. Be a good laugh, though. Be a good laugh. Yeah, I'm far behind already, How the fuck does this happen? Far behind. One second, lads. I might have skipped a few here, by the way. Might have skipped a few. Levi Khan, Levi Khan, yeah. Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr. coming next. Should be fun. Bro, you're getting my hopes up. Is that coming next or is it just being talked about? Because that's a great fight. That really is a great fight. I wouldn't know who to pick in that fight. I might slightly favour Leo Santa Cruz based on size and reach, but Gary Russell Jr. is no joke. That's a really good fight. That's a really good fight. I would like Gary Russell Jr. to win. I do like Gary Russell. I think he's a really good fighter. I like Leo Santa Cruz, but I prefer Gary's style of fighting, to be honest. Good fight, though. Hopefully it happens. Yeah, Sean, I agree. In regards to Tank Davis, he and Bertschelt really need to square off to see who is the king in that division. The winner of that fight is number one, undoubtedly, in my opinion. He's number one. Yeah, I saw Levi Khan's comment earlier. Apparently, Callum Smith might be fighting Dennis Duglin. If that's true, that's a disgrace, considering they've turned down the Billy Joe Saunders fight. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, if Callum turns down that Billy Joe fight and then fought Canelo or Golovkin, fair enough. But don't turn it down. Don't turn it down and fight an absolute scrub. That's what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. Yeah, exactly, Frank. I agree. Callum Smith versus Billy Joe Saunders, end of the year, would be great. Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a great fight for the UK. Be a great fight. Gennady Golovkin versus Murata in Japan is big and a good style fight. I agree. Both guys are very aggressive. Both guys punch very hard. Nobody's going to take a backward step in that fight. It's going to be great to watch. It will do great ratings down in Japan and over here as well. In the States, I should say. I think that's a good fight. I think it's a good fight. It's solid. Certainly solid. Yeah, Sean, I heard that. But Shelt wants to move to 135 to face Lomachenko. Yeah, I heard that. I also heard Tevin Farmer wants Berchelt next. That's a decent fight. Berchelt versus Farmer. I think Berchelt would have too much for Farmer, though. I can't lie. I'm not sold on Tevin Farmer. I think he's a good boxer, don't get me wrong, but at the elite level against Tank and Berchelt, I think he will struggle. To be honest with you, I would pick Jojo Diaz to beat Tevin Farmer and Andrew Cancio. I would pick these guys to beat him. That's not to say I don't like Tevin Farmer or I don't think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter, but I think he's beatable. I know he gets the reputation of being really slick, but Tevin Farmer spends a lot of time in the pocket. And when he's in the pocket, he does get hit. We saw that against John O'Carroll, for example. Against somebody like Berchelt or Cancio, that's a recipe for disaster. And obviously against Tank Davis, that's going to get him knocked out. So Tevin Farmer, against the top guys of 130, I think he will come up short. I think he would beat Jamel Herring, but other than that, I think he's struggling, to be honest with you. I really do. CJW. Now, I've got to say, this is arguably the best fight of the year. You can make the argument. Regis Prograis versus Josh Taylor. My prediction, to be honest with you, I'm totally on the fence. Right now, if somebody broke into my house, put a gun to my head, and asked me to predict it, I mean, Jesus. I might say Prograis. Lean towards Prograis. Tough one, though. Great fight, though. One second, lads. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Prograis Taylor, I've got it as 50-50. When it's official, I might change my mind. But right now, leaning towards Prograis in the narrowest of ways. Levi Khan, Kovalev versus Yard would be weird to watch, but Kovalev should win. Would be hilarious if Yard knocks out the woman beater, though. It might not even happen. It might not even happen because Canelo is still sniffing about. He's still trying to fight Kovalev. So, I mean, you never know. But I think if that fight does happen, Kovalev by mid-round knockout. And yeah, as ABC says in the chat, Kovalev, he's not been proven guilty yet. It's just some, less than. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to judge the lady saying these allegations, but I mean, she doesn't look trustworthy. Put it that way. Oh dear, we're being politically correct tonight, lads. We're being politically correct. For Quags, Spencer's going to go life and death with Porter. He couldn't take out a fat lightweight, but Spencer's going to overwhelm Porter. Don't see it. It's going to be a dogfight. I can see that argument. One thing I will say about the Spence Garcia fight, I do genuinely believe Mikey was in survival mode, to be honest. Against a guy with more ambition, I could see Spence doing a bit more damage, but I'm not sure whether Porter's going to be that guy. He's going to have ambition, sorry, but he can smother you. He can really make it rough and tough on the inside. I'm not sure whether he's going to allow, Spence to have that space to work. Good fight though. Good fight. Sean Newton, what do you think about the young kid Harvey to Liverpool? I've heard a lot of good things about Harvey. He came from Fulham. I believe he was the youngest player to ever play in the Premier League. So he's got some pedigree. He's got a lot of hype. We'll see how good he is, man. We'll see. We'll see how good he is. Chris Hughes, Kovalev is ranked number one at light heavyweight. I would say Vodzik is number one, based on his win over Stevenson. He is the lineal champion and the WBC champion. I would say Vodzik is number one right now. But there's not much in it. You've got Bivol, Vodzik, Kovalev, Beterbiev, Brown. All of these guys are, top guys, top fighters. Yeah, exactly, ABC Def. Going life and death with Porter is not a bad thing. Everybody goes life and death with Porter, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people who felt that Porter beat Furman. I saw people who felt Porter beat Kell Brook. And by the way, go back and watch Sean Porter Kell Brook if you can sit through it. That fight wasn't the schooling people make it out to be. It was very, very close. In fact, Jim Watt had Sean Porter winning, I believe. Close fight. It was a close fight. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Check my team, Dell. I'll give it a look in a minute. CJW, Floyd was hated. What are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're referring to there, CJW, to be honest. Is it in regards to the Kovalev women beating thing? Difference is though, Floyd was he was sentenced and put down. But listen, man, I don't really care what these guys do in their private lives, but it is what it is, isn't it? I guess. Don't particularly care. If you give me good fights, man, listen, it is what it is. I'm not here to look up to role models or anything like that. If you're a scumbag but a good fighter, you're still a good fighter. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't really care about that stuff. I don't really care about that stuff. But that's just me. I'm not going to get triggered over some dude who I've never met, who I have no control over. It's pointless. I don't get triggered about stuff like that, man. Too much. Not going to waste my energy on it. Joe Blow. Mayweather was probably beating up Golding in Fots, so it's probably excusable. Oh dear. Okay, Ben Haynes. Murata is said to fight Brant again. Okay, third fight. Damn. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Sean Newton. Yeah, Farmer got stopped by Pedraza really early on in his career. Yeah. Unrivaled's not a fan of Farmer. He's okay. I'm not a big fan either, to be honest with you. I can't front. He's okay. He's not my favourite, put it that way. Box. Warren talks about Hearn more than Porky's corner does. Yeah, Warren's loving it right now, man. Warren's he's loving sticking the knife in right now. You know, it looks like he's like been reinvigorated. You know, he's had 5 years shaved off his age. The more Hearn suffers, the younger Warren gets. He's like Benjamin Button. Fucking hell. Yeah, what's up, MB? How you doing? Oh, MB, I've just set up a fantasy football league just for the YTBC, just for a bit of fun. To be honest with you, if anybody wants to join, they're more than welcome. All the details are in the video. But yeah, it'd be a good laugh. It'd be a good laugh. And my team, by the way, my fantasy team name is Elite. Absolutely elite. 1 second, lads. I need to find the details for it. I'll drop it in the chat. I'll do it in a sec. Fuck it. I'll do it in a sec. Yeah, MB. Apparently, Rob Grant had a rematch clause against Murata in the second fight, so apparently they're fighting for a third time. Yeah, El Nino, you're right. You are right. Brook did have Porter on rubber legs at the end of one of the rounds. Yeah, he walked him onto that big right hand. Yeah, I remember. I felt Brook won. Don't get me wrong, but listen, it was very close. I felt it was very close. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say Kell Brook schooled Sean Porter. I never saw that. You know, maybe I'm looking into it wrong, but I mean, I never saw that. I can't lie. I felt it was very close, very competitive, and you know, just one of those type of fights. Very close. CJW, Porter is scared of Spence, you can tell. Yeah, Errol Spence said something that I agreed with. You know, he kind of insinuated that Sean Porter never really wanted that fight, and he put it off for a while, whereas Errol Spence wanted that fight for the longest. And I agree with him, you know. I don't think Sean Porter is that confident going into this fight, just looking at his body language. Obviously, you know, on fight week when these two step in the ring, I'm sure Porter is going to have his game face on and he'll be ready. But right now, you know, he's not really that convincing, to be honest with you. He's not that convincing. Unrivaled boxing talking news. Frank Warren is literally floating in every interview. The dude turns without moving his feet. Yeah, the guy is on cloud nine, mate. He's on cloud nine. You know, pulling off those shoulder rolls, great upper body movement. He's looking the part these days, man. You know, rolling that he's rolling that shoulder more than Floyd and James Toney. Jesus, he's loving it, man. He's loving it. Yo, Earn with Hearn in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? MDJ. Spence is definitely on the juice. Potentially. I mean, my whole thing is I believe 90% of these guys are on something. I really do. Yo, Tommy Temper in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? MB, he really likes Tevin Farmer. I think he's quality. I think I like him as a person. I think he comes across really well. But I think I don't know. I'm just not sold on him. I'm not sold on him at like top level when he goes in there with guys like Burchell or Davis, Jojo Diaz, Cancio. I think he'll come up short. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. Azzy, he says Porter's going to give Spence a hard fight. Yeah. When does Sean Porter roll over for anybody? He doesn't. He doesn't. Porter, he's going to make it rough, tough, and you know, he's going to be very aggressive. He might stick the head in, He might stick the elbows in, the shoulders, the holding, the mauling. He's not going to let Errol Spence tee off on him and have it all his own way. MDJ. Box. Errol Spence forgot his juice in the Mikey fight. Maybe. Maybe. Sean Newton, he thinks Tank is better than Spence. Damn. I'm not sure, man. I do think Tank is a very talented fighter, but in terms of like fundamentals, I do believe Errol Spence has it all pretty. He does have a lot to his game in terms of the fundamentals. Does the basics very well. Good power, good punch placement, good variety. I think Spence is quite well rounded, to be honest. Seymour, no, you're taking the piss, Seymour. No, Lucas Brown says a done deal for him versus Tom Little as chief support on the Loma undercard. No way. MDJ, Spence will end up at 160, I reckon. Yeah, I think so. I think that's where he'll end up at the end of his career. Oh yeah, Shepherd of Sons. Matchroom and Hearn have had a hard week. They've had a hard summer. They've had a hard summer, to be honest. El Nino, I saw a poll earlier asking who Manny Pacquiao should fight next. Most are saying Lomachenko at 135. Could he still make 135 at this age? I don't think so, to be honest with you. The guy doesn't carry an ounce of that on him. And at this stage, a weight cut to 135, in my opinion, would be pretty unrealistic. Maybe 140. I think you could get to 140, no problem. But 135 at this age, I think that's a bridge too far, to be quite honest. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Joe Blow, Manny's speed will be a problem for Spence. I agree, particularly early on. I agree. The angles, the speed, the foot speed. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly, the Quags. Tank is very hard to gauge. He's fought pretty much nobody. 2017, he had a really good year. He beat a good guy in Jose Pedraza. Now people can make excuses and say he was weight drained. Maybe he was struggling at the weight, but he was still a good fighter and unbeaten. Good win. After that, he defended his title abroad in the UK, granted against a European level fighter in Liam Smith, but he did it away from home. And then he beat Fonseca in an average performance. But overall, 2017 was quite decent for Tank Davis. Since then, he's done nothing. He's done nothing. Fighting featherweights coming up in weight, coming off losses. You know, less than stellar guys like Ricardo Nunes. The guy's not doing anything. And that's my problem with Tank Davis. I think he's a really good talent, but he's just not fighting anybody. Yeah, exactly, Earn with Hearn. I like how Tank Davis said he wants Farmer next. Now, if he can make his promoters do the fight next, I will be pleasantly shocked. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Ben Haynes. Lucas Brown versus Tom Little in a parking garage. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, Seymour. Okay. So apparently we have Lucas Brown versus Tom Little on a pay-per-view card. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Shepherd of Sons. Hearn and Hatman at their breaking point. Gee. uh, I don't mind Hatman. I like Hatman. but I guess he's not for everybody. I guess none of us are for everybody. But and at the end of the day, I mean, ultimately, if Hearn loses fight, sorry, if Hearn's fighters losing fights, I'm not really bothered as long as they're good fights, like Hooker versus Ramirez. Sometimes you're going to take losses, and ultimately, that's all that really matters. As long as we're getting good fights, I don't really care who's winning, who's losing. It is what it is. Credit to Eddie Hearn and Top Rank for for putting both guys on the line in that fight. Sean Newton, yeah, that's exactly. Hearn's making decent fights, so good on him. Yeah, this weekend was good. This weekend was good. Manny versus Danny Garcia pay-per-view. I'd watch that. Good style clash. Oh God, CJW. What do you think of Tyson Fury possibly fighting Charles Martin? I mean, he's better than Tom Schwartz, and I don't believe Charles Martin is quite as bad as everybody makes out. However, it's a weak fight. It really is a weak fight. Hopefully, after that fight, he fights Deontay Wilder. I mean, ultimately, at least Charles Martin is a character. He's a character. I'll give him that much. Yo, what's up, Apollo Shade? How you doing? Sorry, Apollo Spade. How you doing? CJW, why can Fury officially draw with Wilder, beat Schwartz, and become number one? Laughing my ass off. I mean, it's boxing, isn't it? It's boxing. I mean, ultimately, if you're talking about like public consensus of who's number one, I mean, ultimately, you can still argue Tyson Fury has the best win of any active heavyweight, and I would agree with that. But recent form, in my opinion, hasn't warranted a number one spot. I have Andy Ruiz as number one right now, in terms of like a what have you done for me lately type of scenario. Ruiz is coming off a really big win over Joshua. He's got 3 of the 4 belts. I've got him as number one right now, personally. But that's just my opinion. I mean, ultimately, there is no consensus number one. That's all that really matters. And we need these guys to fight each other. We need these guys to sort it out. Joshua, Ruiz, Wilder, Fury. These guys need to fight each other. And any discussion now of who's the best is kind of pointless. There is no real number one as far as I'm concerned. Until these guys really start fighting each other. That's how I see it. Anyway. Ugh. Boxing Brains Hatman is a dunce. He says Wilder and White are clean because they are on the WBC clean boxing program. Listen, man, I mean, all of these guys are very suspicious, ultimately. MB, anybody know about Yatalo Pereira? I don't think I've seen him. He fights Bacole on Friday night. I know Pereira. He fought Tyrone Spong, who is a heavyweight prospect. Tyrone Spong used to be a kickboxer, and apparently Pereira got robbed in that fight. Apparently he beat Tyrone Spong, but got robbed. Apparently he's a good journeyman, a durable guy. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. Yo, what's up? What's up, Chris? No, I see it. No, Chris, you've been in here. Sorry. What about Usyk versus Price? I mean, I think Usyk stops Price in 4 or 5 rounds. To be honest. ABC Def. Charles Martin is a beast. He's going to end Fury in 4 and then physically shoot Deontay Wilder. Uh, Sean Newton, aren't I, for everybody? No comment. No comment, sir. Shepherd of Sons, if Bakole stops him, I'll be impressed. Yeah, Pereira, he looks fairly durable. Seems to be a tricky guy. Could be a tough fight. You never know. I mean, the way Matchroom's luck is going at the minute, you never know. Maybe Pereira knocks him out. Who knows? Who knows? This guy's got to be a troll. Adam Ellis. Yo, man, my girl thinks you sound hot. Give her a shout out. Jen O'Hannon. Shout out to Jen O'Hannon. Do you mean Jenny? That's got to be a troll. That's hilarious. Boxing Brains. Papin versus Makabu. That's a great fight, That's on the undercard of Sergey Kovalev and Anthony Yard. Very good fight. Makabu's a puncher. Papin's a puncher. Both guys are physically strong. Both guys are aggressive. Someone's getting knocked out. And it's 50-50 as far as I'm concerned. Makabu, more experienced. Southpaw, fought at a higher level. But Papin is a lot more. He's a fresher guy. He's younger. Less miles on the clock. It's a bloody good fight. It's a really good fight. Fair play to Makabu. That guy's a road warrior. Got a lot of time for Makabu. But it's a great fight. I might slightly favour Papin, but I would like to see Makabu do it. I can't lie. I do like Makabu. The Quags, me too. I've got Ruiz #1 for now. Yeah, I've got Ruiz #1. Not by much, and if anybody disagrees, no problem. But, that's how I see it. But ultimately, these guys need to fight each other. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Unrivaled boxing talking news. Adam, don't tell him that. This Sket merchant would pound her. Jesus Christ. I'm a man of honour. What are you talking about? I'm a man of honour. ABC Def, he's back on the football. Dusan Tadic from Ajax. How's nobody bought that guy yet? Yeah, the guy is really good. He used to play for Southampton though, and back then I always thought he was a solid guy, a solid player who could probably do a lot better. And here we are. Last season he was immense for Ajax. He was really good. Sean Newton, he's got Wilder #1. Again, no complaints from me. If you've got Wilder #1, no complaints. If somebody had Fury #1, no complaints. Yeah, man, I'm good, Chris. I'm good. How are you? I'm good, man. We're just making the most of Google Hangouts while it's still here. I mean, this could be the last one, but I might try and squeeze one more in tomorrow or Wednesday. And after that, we've got to plan on what we do next in terms of streaming. But I will stream again, just not in the foreseeable. I've got to work out how to use OBS. Shepherd of Sons, Madrimov might have to save Matchroom. Yes, sir. Apparently, Madrimov right now is struggling. He's struggling to get fights. So hopefully he's active. Hopefully we see him fight again soon. Sean Newton, he says, whatever happened to that New Zealand rugby player who was boxing? You mean Sonny Bill Williams, I want to say? I think he was just playing at it. He was fighting now and again just because he enjoyed it, kind of thing. Not sure, though. I don't think he's fighting anymore. I think you mean Sonny Bill Williams. Earn with Hearn, Filip Hrgovic versus David Price. Who have you got? People forget. People forget Matchroom have heavyweight Hrgovic. Dude's a handful. I agree. I mean, I think Hrgovic would knock David Price out in 4 to 5 rounds. To be honest, Price could be dangerous early on, obviously, but I think eventually Hergovich will get to him and he'll knock him out. CJW, Nieri is juiced to the nines. Yeah, I agree. Inoue will still knock him. Yeah, take his head off. Yeah, I agree. I think Inoue knocks him out mid rounds. Apparently, Nieri he didn't look too good last time out. I've not seen that fight with Payano, so I will have to check that out myself. But apparently, he didn't look good. And yeah, I certainly make Inoue a favourite in that fight. Yeah, ABC. Yeah, very quick turnaround for Makabu. Yeah, taking on Papin so fast after that war with Kudryashov is a good look. Yeah, I like I do like Makabu. Good fighter. Yeah, boxing brains. Papin is he's a unit. He's a unit. Adam Ellis, jokes aside, we love your channel, man. Thank you very much. Did you see the Instagram video of Dillian White introducing his brother as somebody else, by the way? Really weird. No, I'll watch that. I'll need to watch that. I don't follow Dillian White on Instagram. I'll need to watch that. I'll give it a watch in a bit. Omnisurge Media. Huey Fury versus David Price. Who would you pick? I would pick Huey to win, to be honest with you. I think I would pick Huey. Could Huey knock out David Price? That's the question. Potentially. Maybe he could guess him out and knock him out late on. It's a good fight, though. It's a good fight. But apparently, this is what I've heard, according to social media, Huey Fury versus Alexander Povetkin for the Luke Campbell, Luke Campbell Lomachenko undercard. So that's crazy. I think Huey Fury would get absolutely destroyed by CJW. Sorry, I've read CJW's comment. Yeah, sorry, Huey Fury would get destroyed by Povetkin right now. CJW, he says J Rock versus Errol Spence would be a good fight. I agree. Very good fight. Spence, I mean, he's certainly big enough to compete at 154. And stylistically, Julian Williams versus Errol Spence is a great fight. Both guys are, very good technical boxers. They put their shots together well. Good on the eye. Yeah, that's a really good fight. I like that fight a lot. Hang on, lads, 1 second. I thought I went quiet then. Sorry, lads. Yo, ABC, did I cut out or something? I'm not going to end the stream just yet. Unrivaled boxing talking news. Dell, why did you enter the trivia contest knowing I'll beat you? Yo, did I enter the trivia contest? When did this happen? Yo, that's the first I know about it. Jesus. Jesus. If I'm actually in it, I'll need to book the day off because I need I work. Well, I get up pretty early for work, so I would need to book it off, but I guess if I'm in it, I'm in it. We'll see though. We'll see. Jesus Christ. Sean Newton, does he still play rugby? I'm not sure. I think he does, but I think he does. I'm not sure though. I'm sure I've heard his name recently, Sonny Bill Williams. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, Adam Ellis. Basically, Dean White isn't his real brother. No, I've heard that before. I have heard that before. What happened to Azzy? ABC Def scared him off. Yeah, the Quags, I agree. I think Povetkin gets to Huey Fury. I really do. Huey Fury, I mean, his movement and his upper body movement, he could mess around Povetkin for a few rounds, but I think eventually Povetkin gets on top of him and connects with something big. I mean, if Huey takes that fight, fair play to him because you can't really say he doesn't have ambition, and you can't really say he's scared to take tough fights. That's not the issue. I just don't think he's good enough for that level right now, and I don't think he will be good enough for that level. I just can't see him getting that much better. I know he's young, but I've just not seen I've not seen the levels of improvement that you need to really see. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Apparently, you're in it. Am I? Damn. Damn. I didn't know that. Your boy might have to pull a Riddick bow and you know pull off a massive duck. I never knew that. If I can do it, I'll just do it anyway. To be honest with you, why not? Why not? I just need to know a date when I'm on, and at that point, I'll jump on because I can book the day off after, so I can just do an all nighter and stay up as long as I need to. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Yeah, Sean, I agree. Actually, um, Eddie Hearn, he does give his guys fights even when they lose a few. Look at David Price, Dave Allen. Yeah, they do. He does look after these guys, and somebody like David Price in particular. Listen, we all know his flaws. We all know he's not going to get to the top, but he's still a fun fighter to watch. Ultimately, if you match this guy correctly, he can be involved in some really good fights. A competitive fight at Southern area level, it's still good to watch. I don't care what level boxing's at. As long as it's competitive, that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm being deadly serious. I would rather watch a competitive Southern area title fight rather than Tank Davis knocking out a no-hoper. Honestly. But yeah, that's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion. ABC Def. Dell, stop saying suspect things like Povetkin gets on top of him and lands something big. Yeah, yeah, I've got away with words. I've got away with words. What can I say? Boxing Brains, is that mighty midget guy supposed to be any good? I haven't followed him. Tremaine Williams, yeah. I mean, I've seen a bit of him, and to be honest, feather fisted. I'm not really that impressed. But the guy's got a hell of a nickname, so I'm following him. I'm supporting him. That's a hell of a nickname for Mighty Midget. It's a great name. ABC Def. Better get researching. Dell, don't let us down. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there raw. I'm gonna go in there raw. No research. Nothing like that. Fuck that noise. We'll get knocked out in the first round. Go for it. Amir Khan shit. No defense. No preparation. First round knockout loss. Jesus. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. My favourite Dell quote is, "He needs to stop tying him up and just splatter him." Sounds like something I would say. My favorite is sorry, my favorite is I'll give you the spanner. My favorite of my own is like, like if I'll say something and like if so and so's whatever, I'm a Dutchman. That's my favorite. I like saying that. uh, Yo, unrivaled boxing talking news. I need to verify if I'm even in this quiz, man. I need to verify it first. Dell's gonna go into the Dell's gonna go into the quiz with his chin in the air and get KO'd in the first round. Yeah, exactly. Jesus. Yeah, it's going to happen because all of those guys know their stuff. McGregor, obviously, Johnny Boy, recognize, aka recognize for crabs. Yeah, all of these guys know their stuff, man. They do. All of these guys know their stuff. But I do need to verify if I'm actually in this quiz. I really do. Shit, I'm in. I'm in. I'm actually in this quiz, you know. Jesus Christ. We can't pussy out now, though. We can't pussy out now. I'm going to go on this 1 second, McGregor. Yeah, I've clicked the link, McGregor. I can see it. Have you got a date yet? By the way, if I just need a date. That's literally all I need. I need a date, and from there we're okay. Yo, can you hear me? Sorry, I thought I cut out then. My bad. Yeah, with Hearn. So the quiz is on BDA apparently. Okay, unrivaled. So no idea when there's a date. Yeah, that's all I need, man. As long as I've got a date, I'm good. I can get in there. That's fine. I just need the date. I need a date to sign the contract on, man. I need to plan my busy schedule to enter such a tournament. You know, my undefeated record is on the line. Oh no, Shepherd of Sons, Dell versus Gonzalo. Gonzalo, man, he knows his stuff. You know, Gonzalo knows his stuff. Most guys on that show know their stuff, though. To be honest with you, most of those dudes know a lot. But in the last quiz, when Recognize and Johnny Boy got at it, I was doing the questions myself. And listen, I didn't keep score, but I got quite a few right. You know, I got quite a few right. I wasn't terrible. Box, he says corruption would be a dark horse. Yeah, I really like corruption. I really like corruption. I like his points. Plus, he's got a good channel as well. Actually, he's actually got a channel himself. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons. That was a brilliant show last night on BDA. Really enjoyed it. The AIDS talk, man, was brilliant. Outstanding. Stu, I've had some scutters in my life, little. Oh dear. I'll tell you what, lads, if you guys could smash the like, it would be much appreciated. You know? Bro, still to this day, I hate asking for likes. I sound proper awkward when I do it, but yeah, if you could smash the like, I would be very much grateful. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons. I liked the questions, to be honest with you. Some of them stumped me. I can't lie. I was totally lost at some questions, but I felt I did okay. I did okay. I Hearn 27. What's going on, man? How you doing? And by the way, Revolution or Revolution, he's got a great announcing voice. It's brilliant when he announces the quiz. Outstanding. I mean, the guy's better than some of these MCs in the UK who do the shows. Outstanding stuff. Outstanding. Now, fair play to him though. He's put a lot of work into that, getting the questions. Fair play to him. But yeah, that's a hell of a debut though on the BDA show. I've been meaning to go on there for so long, and my debut could be the quiz. There we go. There we go. No problem, I heard, man. No problem at all. Thank you, Sean. And by the way, I'm sure you guys all know. Listen, I always shout out channels who I'm sub to if they jump in chat. Sean Newton, he himself has a channel. Check him out. I'm sure you guys already know who Sean Newton is, but check him out. He's got a good channel. I've been sub to Sean for like, I want to say before you had 1,000 subs. I've been sub to you for a long time, like 400, 500 subs. I remember Sean Newton when he was just a commentator, like when he just commented on videos. I heard 27. What was your favorite fight this past weekend? Oh, definitely Ramirez versus Hooker. Great fight. I really like both guys. Both guys, put it all on the line. Both guys had success back and forth. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. They're the type of fights that we want to see. Unification fights between two guys in their primes. No excuses about rival networks. They just got it on. And it was a great fight. Brilliant fight. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, man, I heard it was a very good war. Brutal fight. Going into it, I picked Ramirez by split decision, like a really close fight. I didn't expect a knockout, but it happened, man. So quick as well. Ramirez hurt him and jumped right on him, and that was it. Really good finish by Ramirez. Really good killer instinct. And a great stoppage by the referee, by the way. The referee jumped in at just the right time. I felt it was a perfect stoppage by the referee. Credit to him. Yeah, boxing brains. I've seen that. The worst boxing fight in history. Yeah, that was what was the guy's name? Is it Kenny Sutherland? Something like that. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Boxing brains. Yeah. ABC Death. Hooker's head was bouncing all over the place. Yeah, man. I mean, he was out on his feet and he wasn't defending himself. He was getting caught flush numerous times. Perfect stoppage by the referee. He jumped in just at the right time. And um and the thing about that type of fight, listen, man, Ramirez, he can go on now and try to become an undisputed champion in a great fight. He's going. Hopefully, he fights the winner of Taylor Pro Grace. Excellent fight. But Hooker, I mean, there's still good fights for him at 140. What about Hooker versus Baranchik, for example? Great fight. You know, there's still fights for him there. Hooker can come back. He can come again. You know, when guys take those type of fights and lose, we really shouldn't rule them out as boxing fans. Ultimately they're the type of fights we want, and sometimes you lose those fights. It is what it is. I'm still interested in Maurice Hooker. I still want to see him fight. MB, I think we're going to see Hooker back at 147. Well, that's what I've heard. I've heard Hooker going to 147. I'm not sure about that though, to be honest with you. I'm not sure about that. I would rather see him fight at 140 for a bit longer. But I mean, ultimately, if he can't make the weight, he can't make the weight. 147 could be a bit of a struggle for him. We'll see, though. We'll see. Ihern, he says Mo never wanted to quit. Yeah, no, exactly. He's got no quit in him, Maurice Hooker. He's a tough dude. We saw that against Saucedo in a couple of fights back, where he got dropped in that fight. He was getting hurt, and he come back to stop Saucedo. Hooker's got dog in him. He's in there to fight. He's in there to fight. And like I said, he's still got good fights out there. He's still got some really good fights to take at 140. And if he wants to go to 147, it's worth a go. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Sean, I agree. Hooker at times looked really good. You know, when there was a little bit of distance between both guys, Hooker was having success. Landing that long right hand, landing the jab, did a good job of timing Ramirez coming in with that check left hook. He was having success. He just couldn't offset the pressure of Ramirez ultimately. But good effort though, good effort. Sean Newton, that's a really good shout. Hooker versus Postol, very good shout. Very good shout. Ihern 27, Dell. What were your thoughts on all the what were your thoughts on all the tragedies this month? Yeah, man, it was horrible, especially the one in Argentina. Apparently, the guy who obviously passed away, he was knocked out very recently before that fight, and he kind of returned to the ring too soon. So that one in particular looked like it could have been prevented, and the one in Argentina was kind of so preventable because even at the end of the fight, when the decision was being announced, his team was holding. They were holding this guy up because he was about to collapse. They was holding him up, waiting for the decision. When this guy should have been getting medical attention, having oxygen and being attended to. Terrible, really terrible. As for Maxime Dadashev, I mean, Buddy McGirt, he showed compassion. He pulled his man out. And I think that is just one of those instances of being very unlucky. And again, I'm not sure what health and safety provisions were in place, but The Dadashev one looked just more. It looked more like an unfortunate incident more than anybody's to blame, if that makes sense. But the one in Argentina certainly looked like it could have been prevented, to be honest with you. And it's sad ultimately, both guys in their 20s, both guys who were basically still in their youth. Not great to see. Not good to see at all. Yo, Corey Lee boxing in the chat. What's going on, man? Shout out to Corey Lee. Check Corey Lee's channel out. Every time he comes in here, man, I'll shout him out. Great channel, excellent content. Give him a subscribe. Check him out. Yeah, Box, I saw that. Jose Luis Castillo's son has been hurt in sparring and he's in a serious condition. Yeah. It's terrible, man. It's terrible. It's been a terrible week. Yeah, I heard, but I mean, the one in Argentina was so hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. Just because that one was so preventable, or more could have been done in the very least. You know? Yeah, exactly. ABC. Santillan was 23 years old. Dadashev was 28. I mean, these guys were young kids, man. Like Santillan was 2 years younger than me. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Earn with Hearn, he says, Del Boy, how long do you think it will take for Kalnetsky to dispatch of Areola? I think Areola is turning into a Johnson-style gatekeeper. I think, to be honest with you, I think Kalnetsky takes Areola out in about 5 rounds. Kalnetsky, I mean, I believe he's younger. Well, he is younger. He's fresher, greater output. He's more aggressive, and he's got more in the tank. You know, Areola's been through so many wars. He's 38 years old. He's seen better days. I think he'll get stopped in round 5, personally. Yes, Sean Newton. Muriel is a beast at 140. He's a big dude, big power, good body puncher. The guy's a problem. What about Maurice Hooker versus Muriel? That's a great fight. Muriel versus Baranchik. These are great fights at 140. 140 right now is a damn good division. It's a very good division. Some great fights there to be made. Yeah, MB, Boashuk from Ukraine. He fought last night. He's got another knockout. He's 15-0 with 15 knockouts. He looks very dangerous. He looks very dangerous. He needs to step up, though. He does need to step up. We'll see how good he is, but he looks like a real problem. Okay, MB, fight is starting on Box Nation right now. He actually fought last night, by the way. I think it's a repeat. I won't spoil it for you. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, Neri versus the monster Inoue. Crazy hard punches. Yeah, both guys can really punch at bantamweight. It's a great fight. I think Nieri would beat. Sorry, no, I think Inoue would beat Nieri personally. But Nieri's no joke. He's a big dude as well for bantamweight. He's a big guy. Yeah, Corey, I agree, man. The Dadashev fight was brutal. The body shots, yeah, the body shots, man. They really took it out of Dadashev. Yeah, man. Like you could tell in the last in rounds 10 and 11 of that fight, you could tell Dadashev was basically done. He had nothing left. There was no power in his punches. His balance was a bit off, and yeah, he he took a beating, didn't he? He really did. But the guy went out a warrior, man. He still had no quit in him, even when he had nothing left. It's heartbreaking the way he went out. It really is. ABC Def, Kell Brook pisses me off, and I don't care what he does now. Can't believe I was a fan of him. Listen, I really liked Kell Brook. To me, the guy will go down as one of the biggest waste of talent in British boxing, as far as I'm concerned. I believe Kell Brook was a great talent, but he took far too long to step up for a start. I mean, this guy, people forget this, he was WBO mandatory back in 2010 for at welterweight, and it took him forever to step up. In between fights, he put on a lot of weight, never lived for life. And listen, there's numerous reports out there, and I've heard certain things to suggest that Brook never lived for life outside the ring. And I'm not talking about having a few drinks here and there. You know, the guy never took boxing seriously. He never made the most of his talent. And it's too late now. It's too late now. And it's unfortunate. I don't like it when talent goes to waste. He still had a good career, you know, he made his money, but for me, considering the talent he had, I believe he should have done a lot more personally. But that's just my opinion. As long as he's content, I guess that's all that matters. ABC Def, Neary's KO was nice, but he didn't look great. I was surprised Payano came to fight. Yeah, I've not seen that fight. I still need to catch up. I still need to catch up. Unrivaled wants to catch. He wants to cut a promo. No, man, I've not signed the contract yet. I've not signed the contract. Might have to start ducking. Yo, McGregor, what I might do, it's Monday today, isn't it? I might do a stream tomorrow or Wednesday and have you on just because it's the last Google Hangout. One second, lads. I'm just reading something in the background. Yeah, Corey Lee, you're right. You are right. Lewis Neary, he got caught for what did he take? Yeah, Neary got caught for taking nandrolone as well. Yeah, he is a drug cheat, and he failed to make weight in the rematch. So in the first fight, he knocked out Yamanaka. Then it got found out he tested positive for clenbuterol. In the rematch, he was obviously clean, and he missed weight by God knows how much, and never made weight, and then knocked out Yamanaka in the rematch. So in the first fight, he was juicing, and in the second fight, he didn't make weight. So there you go. There you go. And you have to ask yourself a question: why didn't that guy make weight? Was it because he couldn't take any PEDs to help him cut weight? I mean, crazy. Because clenbuterol does help you cut weight, from what I've read. So there you go. It's funny. It's funny in the very next fight he struggled to make weight, or he didn't make weight. So there you go. Adam Scott, what's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, ABC, you're right. Villanueva, he dropped Neary before getting knocked out. Another good fight is Neary versus Ubali. in that weight class. That's a really good fight. I mean, Ubali, he looked really good against Villanueva. Oh, ABC Def, he says Ubali gives him hell. I agree. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, Villanueva got crushed by Ubali. He did indeed. Yeah, I believe ABC. Sorry, I agree, ABC. What am I saying? Tongue tied here. I'm tongue tied. Ubali gives him hell. I agree. Ubali versus Neri is a great fight. It's a great fight. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons. I think he missed weight by like 4 or 5 pounds. Yeah, he was a disgrace, man, in that fight. He really was. Boxing Brains, that Paddy Gallagher versus Chris Jenkins fight might be good. Jenkins was a big underdog versus Garton. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's actually a half decent card because Luis Arias, he's on that card. He's fighting Luke Keeler. That's a decent fight. You know, that's a good fight. Keeler versus Arias, competitive. Gallagher versus Jenkins, competitive. I think Michael Conlan's on that card as well. Decent card down in Ireland. Good card. I heard Neri and Inoue get jacked up by Navalete. It could happen. He could be too big. I think Navalete beats Neri, to be honest with you. As for Inoue, I mean, it's hard to say. The guy looks special, to be honest with you. He looks like one of those once in a generation type talents. If I mean ultimately, if Inoue moved up, I would want to see him fight one fight at super bantamweight before he fought Navarrete, and then I would make my decision from there. But Navarrete's no joke. He's no joke. Navarrete might have ruined Dogbe. Dogbe took a beating in both fights. He really did. He took a hideous beating in both fights. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. He's not the biggest fan of Luis Arias. He's not great. He's not great, but you know, Arias versus Keeler, it's a good fight. It's a good competitive fight, in my opinion. I felt Arias lost to Rosado last time out. I can't lie. I felt he clearly lost that fight. Precise is a big fan of Inoue. I know he's kind of been on the he's kind of not he's not on the bandwagon like a lot of people are, and I can see why. I was disappointed. For me, with Inoue, I was disappointed when he avoided guys like Roman Gonzalez, Estrada, Nietes, people like that. To be honest with you, I was disappointed, but you know he's gone into this World Boxing Super Series, and you know he's trying to get some big names on his resume now. So listen, if you're doing good things now, I'll forget what you've done in the past, and it is what it is. It is what it is. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. He says, Dell, I'm proper slumming. I'm drinking Cobra. Cobra's okay. I don't mind Cobra. Cobra is nice with like an Indian, like a curry. It's quite nice. Vindaloo and Vindaloo, Cobra, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Ihan. Thank you very much. Adam Scott, he believes Kell Brook is going to be fighting Liam Smith on pay-per-view, I think. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. That would be, I'll be honest though, Kell Brook versus Liam Smith on pay-per-view, not for me. Not for me. The card would have to be super stacked. It really would. It would have to be a stacked card. And I heard rumors of Liam Smith versus Sergio Garcia. You know, that's what I heard. Joe Blow, he knew he needs a PED test. Yes, sir. I'd love to see all of these guys on proper PED tests, to be honest. But there we go. It's not going to happen. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Lam Masala, Onion Baji, sorry, and Cobra. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Corey Lee Boxing. WBO is a bit shady, I must say, the way Bob Arum runs it. Yeah, Bob Arum and Frank Warren, they basically run the WBO. Let's be honest about it. In the UK, a lot of people call it the Warren Boxing Organisation. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these promoters have favourite sanctioning bodies. Eddie Hearn used to be quite close with the IBF. PBC seemed to be more WBC. And Warren and Arum WBO. Azzy, he says, I like curry, but not going to lie, but Vindaloo is too hot. I like a Vindaloo. I've got to be in the mood, though. I've got to be in the mood. I couldn't eat it right now. And it's weird. It is very hot, but sometimes I can enjoy it. Others, you know, it's not the right time kind of thing. The thing is with me, yeah, super hot curries, it's not even the fact that I enjoy it so much. I like the challenge of eating it, to be honest. As stupid as that sounds, you should eat food to really enjoy it. But with curries, I like the challenge of trying to finish a really hot curry. I'm a fucking idiot, but that's what I like to do. Exactly, unrivaled boxing talk and news. Let them all juice, it makes them all better. I mean, ultimately, in all seriousness, I've made a video about drugs in boxing and the current situation. The way it is right now, it's just untenable. Just watch my video on it. I don't really want to go over it again in this stream, but drug testing in boxing is an absolute joke. So it is what it is. Azzy in the chat coming at me hard. Del boy, you would do MG Pay. Sorry, bro, I'm so tired. I do apologize. Del boy, you would do Michelle Joy Phelps, so I understand you like to challenge yourself. There we go. There we go. Chocolatito in his prime was throwing 100 punches around. Yeah, man. He was super active, Chocolatito. Even with his feet as well. You know, constantly moving forwards, moving his head. Very active. Boxing brains. Should Luke Campbell spar with Frankie Gavin for preparation for Lomachenko? Bro, I wouldn't use Frankie Gavin to screw in a light bulb at this stage. Del Joy Phelps. Damn. I get rinsed for that, man. Show Michelle Joy Phelps a bit of love. Sorry, 54 Trail Swan. What do you think of a Russian dude who is fighting Danny Roman? I've not actually seen much of him, to be honest. I know Matchroom have signed him. I've seen some highlights here and there, but I've not seen full fights yet, so I need to go back and watch him. But from what I see, he looks like a real talent. Oh, he's Uzbek. I need to give him a watch. Usually, I'm quite up to date on those fighters, but I've not actually checked him out. I can't lie. Muradojan. Okay, I need to check him out. What I'll do is I will check him out, and if a fight gets made, I will do a prediction for it. 54 Trail Swan. Would Pedraza beat Campbell? That's a really good fight, you know. That's a really good fight. It's a really good fight. I might actually pick Pedraza, you know, to beat Campbell. Azzy, Del boy, you are English, so you should have inside info. Who is Campbell sparring for Lomachenko? No idea. No idea. I've got no clue. No clue at all. I 27. Benavides versus Durrell, or was he the one arrested again? No. So Jose Benavides got arrested for, I think it was illegal street racing. That was the welterweight one who got arrested. David Benavides, he's still okay to fight. I think David Benavides is going to absolutely destroy Anthony Durrell, to be honest. I think he's going to destroy Durrell. Durrell has seen better days. I felt Durrell looked quite poor against Avni Yildirim. I felt he really struggled in that fight. And yeah, I think he's there for the taking, to be honest with you. I do like Benavides. I do like him. Quick hands, powerful, big for the weight, young. He's got a lot going for him. I'd love to see Benavides fight Callum Smith. I would love that fight. But it's boxing, you know. We very rarely get the fights we want. Fingers crossed we're wrong, man. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Shepherd of Sons. Campbell is sparring Wingy boxing. Jesus. I liked Wingy. I did like Wingy. Boxing Brains, he's saying Campbell's getting stopped. He can't wait. If Campbell does get stopped, I do believe it's going to be late on. I think Lomachenko is going to beat Campbell decisively, but I certainly believe Campbell will go a lot further than Anthony Crolla, to be quite honest. Campbell, better amateur background, better boxer, bigger, longer, southpaw, and got more pop on his punches. Just a better fighter head to head, in my opinion. I think he can take Lomachenko late on, but he might get stopped down the stretch via body shots. I would say a body shot knockout for Lomachenko late rounds. That's the way I'm feeling right now. MB, I think Campbell could beat Lomachenko. I don't know, man. It's a hell of an ask. Hell of an ask. I think he'll give it a go. Don't get me wrong. I really do believe he'll give it a go. But I mean, I'm not sure how confident they really are. I mean, ultimately, there's a reason why Eddie Hearn and Team Campbell weren't happy the WBC made this fight. You know, there was a reason they weren't happy with it because, in my opinion, they're not that confident to win. I'm drinking some lemonade, you know, and it's bloody horrible. I can't stand lemonade. Don't know why I'm drinking it. I don't know why I even bought it. Fucking lemonade, man. Shepherd of Sons. He hopes Lomachenko batters Luke Campbell. Man, I actually like Luke Campbell, to be honest. I really do. I think he's a good fighter. But yeah, Lomachenko has too much. Way too much. Adam Scott, he says Campbell's got no chance. I tend to agree, to be honest with you. I tend to agree. I think the best case for Luke Campbell is that he loses well. So he loses, but he gives Lomachenko a few problems, and he has his moments. That's the best case for him, in my opinion. Boxing Brains, who's going to be on the undercard? Apparently Charlie Edwards versus Martinez, who beat Andrew Selby. The guy who beat Andrew Selby is Charlie Edwards, mandatory. That's a good fight. If that's on the undercard, that's a good start, to be honest with you. It's a good start. I heard Povetkin versus Huey Fury could be on that card. It's an okay fight, I guess. We'll see. We'll see how the card pans out. The thing is with Matchroom, what I've noticed is when a fight is first announced, right, they will tease a really good undercard. They will tease a really nice undercard. And then weeks go by, nothing happens. And all of a sudden, you're left with Lucas Brown fighting Tom Little as a co-main event, But there we go. There we go. It's like going on Plenty of Fish, looking at a profile, chatting the bird up, meeting her, and then you realise you got catfished. That's what it's like with these Matchroom cards. Azzy, I mean, I've been seeing that all over social media. Povetkin versus Huey Fury. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. It could be wrong. It could be wrong. Adam Scott, Matchroom UK have gone downhill since the zone. I agree. 2018 was bad. 2019's been pretty poor. 2017 was pretty good. That was their last good year, in my opinion. That was their last good year. Brooks Spence, they had, obviously. Joshua Klitschko. They even had fights like Sanat Zakyanov versus Ryan Burnett on regular Sky. Very good fight. Boxing Brains, he says maybe more collaborations with Top Rank. Maybe Pulev or maybe Hrgovic. Sorry, maybe Pulev versus Hrgovic or Usyk. Yeah, I agree. I agree. There's some good. I mean, I wouldn't be complaining with any of those fights, to be honest with you. I like Pulev versus Hrgovic more. But yeah, I agree. More collaborations are needed across boxing, though. To be honest with you, it's like Terence Crawford. Actually, he was on the zone supporting Maurice Hooker, and he was interviewed, and he was basically asked about the PBC guys, and the guy asking the question said, like I'm paraphrasing, but what do you make of the guys on the other side of the street? Whatever the question was, and Crawford basically said there should be no other side of the street. That's not what fans want to hear. That's not what we want to see. All of these guys should fight each other regardless. We shouldn't really have to talk about other side of the street. but it's a shame. It's a shame. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Who was the second three-weight world champion? I'm going to duck that question. I'll take a stab and say Henry Armstrong. I'm ducking that question, though, in all seriousness. Adam Scott, has Usyk even got a fight yet? Yeah, apparently he's going to fight Takam. Apparently he's going to fight Takam in October. So Takam is still the plan for Usyk. Yeah, what's up, Nino? How you doing, man? Yeah, Hrgovic is a beast. Hrgovic is an absolute beast. And yeah, Pulev is mandatory for the IBF at the minute. And he wants to fight Ruiz now. He's trying to get that mandated. He's trying to force that through, apparently. Yeah, Azzy, I agree. I do agree. Hrgovic, very talented, but yeah, not fighting anybody right now. I appreciate he's early on into his career, but at the same time, he's fighting Mario Heredia next. I think he could be doing a bit better. He could be doing a bit better. But that's just my opinion. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. Pulev's been mandatory since 2014 for the IBF. Yeah, he was. I swear. Hang on, Pulev wasn't. I might be wrong, but wasn't Pulev versus Chisora an IBF eliminator? I might be wrong when I say that, so don't quote me on that. But I'm sure Pulev Chisora was an eliminator. Okay, Box. He's asked a question. Oh, McGregor's already answered it. Richard Dawson. I knew the guy was. I knew the guy's name was Richard. I'll say that much. I couldn't have remembered his surname though. Box. He says it's going to be great if Abdullah beats Devin Haney. Apparently, that fight is going to take place in September, 14th of September. They're talking about. I have seen a bit of Abdullah. He looks okay, but I think Devin Haney is going to have too much. To be honest with you, I actually quite like Devin Haney. I think he's quite a good fighter. He's a good talent, but again, I mean, Abdullah's a good fight for him. But if they're talking about Lomachenko and people like that, could be a bit too soon. There's no need to rush these guys. There's no need to rush them. If they're that ambitious, fair enough, but there's no rush. The fight I would love to see before these guys fight Lomachenko would be Teofimo versus Devin Haney. That'd be a great fight. It'd be a great fight. Two unbeaten prospects, bro. That'd be a hell of a fight. Boxing Brains. He says, talking of Edwards, I think Casemiro might be fighting soon, and also maybe Caballero versus Huey Fury. Caballero Huey Fury. I mean, if Huey were to beat Caballero, it's a good name, but for the casuals, they would not like Caballero versus Huey Fury. I'd watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'd watch it. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons. I heard that. I heard Teofimo having second thoughts now about Richard Comey. But the thing is, when you push these guys like they've pushed Teofimo Lopez, it's very hard to go backwards. They've made their bed. They've talked their talk. Now, really, they've got to go through with it, in my opinion. You've got yourself into that position. Don't duck now. We'll see. We'll see. But he knows. He knows Richard Comey is no joke. Dude's a big guy. He's a big guy featherweight. Strong as an ox. Hits hard. Teofimo knows that's a tough fight, and he knows there's a chance he could get knocked out, in my opinion. And he's having second thoughts now. He struggled with Nakatani. Nakatani, tall, rangy guy, but not much power. Not as physically imposing as Richard Comey. How's he going to cope with Comey? How is he going to cope with that physicality? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's a good fight, though. It's a good fight. What I will say is this. I want to make this clear. First and foremost, Teofimo Lopez versus Nakatani. I don't think it was a robbery. I don't. I think it was very close. I think it could have gone either way. But it wasn't a robbery. The cards were a disgrace. They were way too wide. But the fight itself could have gone either way. Was it a good performance by Teofimo Lopez? Absolutely not. However, he's 22 years old. He's 22 years old, and I'm not ruling him out. I still think he's a very good prospect. He's got a lot of things going for him. He hits hard. He's explosive. He's big for the weight, and there's room for improvement. He can still be a very good fighter. Let's not, just completely write him off. Let's not completely write him off. A lot of prospects on the come up have fights where they struggle. But yeah, I'm not writing Teofimo off, don't get me wrong, but I think he realizes there's now, there's a big, it's a big jump to where he's fighting at to world level. There's a big jump, and maybe he realizes now he's not quite ready. That's my theory on it anyway. '54 Trail Swan. This is actually a really good question. Dell, do you think the Hall of Fame is based on who the Americans know? For example, I think Takashi Uchiyama should be in the Hall of Fame, but the Americans don't know him. It's a very good question, actually. Well, I guess you could answer yes, because I'm sure the Hall of Fame, aren't these guys inducted by journalists? Most of these guys happen to be from America. And ultimately these guys make the decisions. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's something in that. It's a good point. It's a very good point. Yo, AA Boxing and Blunts, what's going on, man? How you doing? Joe Blow, Richard Comey got beat by Midget Shafikov. He did. I felt he lost that fight as well. I know McGregor, he disagrees with me. He felt Comey won. I felt Shafikov just about edged it out. But what I will say is Shafikov is a very good fighter. He is a very good fighter. I felt Shafikov also ran Robert Easter extremely close. I think Shafikov is a bit underrated. He's a solid guy. The thing with Shafikov, I know he's small, but I don't think he should have gone down to super featherweight, to be honest. Shepherd of Sons, he says, say robbery just to agree with us. Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I don't believe it was a robbery. I don't think it was a robbery. Not, I'm not complaining if you had Nakatani winning by any means, but not a robbery for me. Yeah, Nino, I agree. There's levels in this game, and he's still not at the highest level. Yep, I totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, in the long run, that Nakatani fight could have been really good for Teofimo Lopez. You know, he got some rounds. He got rounds where he really struggled in, and it was a competitive fight. You know, basically, that's what prospects need. That's what prospects need. And if he can learn from that, you know, he can be a better fighter for it. The only thing about Teofimo Lopez that I worry about, and the guys mentioned on BDA, they mentioned this on BDA. I think it was Stuart Little, and he basically he was insinuating that Teofimo Lopez seems to be a bit of an on-top fighter, where when things go well for him, he looks great. When he's knocking you around the ring, when he's landing those big shots, and he's having it all his own way, he's good. But when somebody displays a bit of defiance, when somebody starts to land back on him, he's not the same dude. And he could be right there. He could be right. I think that's something to look out for going forwards. Because on Twitter as well, Teofimo Lopez actually he put out a few tweets, basically cryptic tweets about retirement already, and that was following that performance against Nakatani. So I mean, if he's letting that affect him already, how's he going to react when Richard Comet's on top of him, landing big shots, you know, really testing his mettle? Doesn't bode well. It doesn't bode well. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. Subscrilla. He says, Dell, what happens after Hangouts support ends on August the 1st? Um, so for the foreseeable, I can't envisage any live streams, but in the long run, I will be streaming again. I think I will use OBS, you know, to stream. I think that's the way forwards, but I need to work out how to use it. To be honest with you, I need to sit down and really work out how to use it. The other plan would be to get a console again and stream from that. But I don't really want to play a game and stream, to be honest with you. MB, I always liked Shafikov. Same. I felt Shafikov was a bit underrated when he was at lightweight. To be honest with you, I felt he was underrated. Shafikov also fought Miguel Vasquez when Vasquez was the IBF lightweight champion. That's when Vasquez was really at his best. And Vasquez handled Shafikov as easily as anybody has, really, to be honest. That goes to show how good Vasquez was back in the day. He was actually a really good fighter. Horrible to watch, but a good fighter. Seymour, can't you video live stream, Dell? I don't know. I don't have a webcam. I've actually thought about doing webcam live streams, to be honest with you. I thought about it, you know, doing those face reveals and all that shit. I thought about it. Boxing brains, man. It's all good. It's all good. Unrivaled boxing talker news. He's taking shots. He's taking shots. Unrivaled boxing talker news. He says, I'm ducking. No, you'll get your promo. Just not today, my good sir. Not today. Azzy, he says, Dell, you do have a webcam. How do you talk to your bird, MJP? Yeah, that's true, you know. I'll do an Amir Khan. I'll be the Skype wanker. Ah, shit. Nah, Seymour. I need to do an OBS, make it look a bit professional. But it's just finding time to do it. It's not even time. I can't lie. It's more sitting down and really working out how to use it, and going from there really. uh, you guys are acting like you wouldn't smash Michelle Joy Phelps. I've never once said that Michelle Joy Phelps is like elite. Never once said it. My whole thing is, right, you wouldn't chuck her out of bed, right? I'm not that fussy. I'll be honest. I wouldn't chuck her out of bed. I'd give it a go. That's merely my point. Yeah, whatever, Unrivaled. Whatever. I'm not having it. Ah, shit. Unrivaled. I would throw her off a cliff. uh, Shepherd of Sons. Dell had Michelle Joy Phelps in his fridge now. Oh, shit. Ah, MB. Dell would walk over hot coals just to hear her fart through a walkie-talkie. Oh, shit. Azzy Dell, I have no standards, boy. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Although to be fair, I do have some standards. I do have some standards. So like the other weekend when I was out, so I was trying to get with this chick all night, yeah, and it was going so well. Dancing with her, she was doing her thing, grinding up against me, twerking on me. We made out, blah blah blah. Got towards the end of the night, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to come back to my hotel?" And she's like, "No, I've got a boyfriend." I was like, "What?" To myself, I was like, "What, bro? You've been shagging, like kissing my face off all night. You've been twerking against me, but you've got a boyfriend now. Fuck off." At that point, I was fuming. So I went to her like friend who was in the group she was with, and I chirped with her. Yeah, I was talking to her, and surprisingly, I pulled it off. Yeah, she was into it because she must have realised I walked to her as like a consolation. But I went to her, started talking to her, and I could have gone back to her hotel. I could have gone back to her hotel, but I realised I pulled out because I was thinking to myself, do you know what? You're just a consolation prize. I don't want you. I'm pissed I missed out on the other one. I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna go back to my hotel. Fuck you. So I just left her. I didn't even bother fucking going back with her. I was fuming. I was fuming. Absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming. Mate, unrivaled. Bro, she was down for it, bruv. She was like all over me. Then at the end of the night, oh, I've got a boyfriend. Well, bruh, whatever, man. Fuming. Fuming. Couldn't believe it. Skanks these days, man. Fuming. I was still wound up. I was wound up. I was so wound up for so long, man. I'll kid you not. Some Skrilla, man. Jesus Christ. uh. So the chicken, do you know her name was Breeze, like Breeze, like the weirdest name in the world. And her mate was Lauren. Her mate was like a 7, and I could have got with her, but I just thought, do you know what? It's a consolation prize. Nobody wants to settle for second best, so I just fucked off. Went back to the hotel with the lads, and yeah, we started drinking at the hotel after that because the other two were pretty much fucked. They was done. 54 trail swan. That's my girl. Ah, bruh, she's a little firecracker though, mate. Honestly, I just fucking fuming, fuming. I'm getting pissed about it now. I can't lie. Azzy, her mate was 7 years old. I fucking hope not. uh, yeah, exactly. Boxing brains. Exactly. Kelly Maloney. Hey, just hope you don't wake up in a bathtub full of blood and your testicles are on eBay. Exactly. Azzy, you said she was a 7. She was a 7 out of 10. Fucking hell. Uh, she was a 7 out of 10. She was all right, but yeah, I was gutted. I really was gutted. I've totally lost track of what I was talking about, though. I'll be completely honest. I've totally lost track. Yeah, the last month, I can't lie, in terms of links and that, and it's been a bit dead. It's been a bit dead. I'm working on a couple of bits, but like at the minute, it's all it's finalising the deals, as they say. So right now, it's not too good. It's not too good. Yeah, that's it, Azzy. We're talking about my standards. Yeah, that was my point. My standards. I have some standards. That's my point. I do have some standards. uh, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Happens to the best of us, man. It happens to the best of us. What can we say? What can we say? Let's have a little look on boxing scene quickly. Actually, have any news stories developed while we've been talking? I very much doubt it. Fucking hell, sorry, lads. I've massive burp. Jesus Christ. Chavez Jr., I've got 4 to 5 more years left to show that I can do more. Jesus. No, you don't. Chavez Jr. is done. Jesus Christ. I'm not even going to look at boxing scene. That's all trash. Oh, yeah, that's a good fight, Seymour. Michael Hunter versus Sergey Kuzmin. Good fight. Kuzmin, I mean, he's unbeaten. He's a prospect. Aggressive guy. Good amateur. Not impressed that much as a pro, but still a good fighter. Yeah, that's a good matchup. I favour Michael Hunter. More mobile, quicker, better boxer, better feet. But Kuzmin, he's got a chance. He's got a chance. That's a good fight. I like that fight. I really do. It's a good fight. Exactly, Tone. More what? More what? Smoking weed? Eating cereal in bright pink underwear? I mean, what? Shepherd of Sons. You should go on one of those trips like Gonzalo, yeah? Then get an AIDS test afterwards. In all seriousness, I've not had like an SDD check in a long fucking time. I could probably do with one, but nothing stings. I've got no discharges or nothing like that, so I'm good, man. I'm good. That's grim. That's grim. Yeah, I agree, Azzy. I think Michael Hunter. I believe he'll beat Kuzmin. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even be surprised if he stopped Kuzmin. The Punisher, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Yeah, yeah, box. I do. I do. It's pretty much all guys now in here. All guys. It's a sausage fest in here, man. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I am going to wrap this up in a bit, to be honest, but I'll be on another 10, 15 minutes, I'd say. We've been going for a bit over 2 hours, about 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think. As I said, making the most of this Google Hangouts while it still lasts. As he Dell wrap this and FaceTime MJP, yeah, exactly. That's an idea for a video. Just like make a video DMing all the like boxing social media females and trying to uh trying to chat them up or something like that. Yeah, I need to do this Discord thing. I need to do this Discord thing. I need to check it out. Exactly, Shepherd of Sons. Have a late night Skype with Michelle Joy Phelps. As I said, I can be the Skype wanker like Amir Khan. Yeah, Adam Scott. To be fair though, that was at the Silent Disco, and I kid you not, the ratio of females to males was actually really good. I kid you not. There were so many females, but like, I just fucked up, I guess. I just fucked up. I still have Skype unrivaled. I never use it though. To be fair, never use it. I've not used Skype in a minute. Yeah, Adam, I agree. Nothing worse than a sausage fest on a night out. Yep, totally agree, man. The Punisher, Dell, make sure you wear one of Apology's masks on that Skype call. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think he's got the right idea. I think he's got the right idea. Azzy, man, you should get to one. Very good fun. Silent discos. Surprisingly good fun. I wasn't really sure about it before I went there, but really good. Really good fun. Fucking spent way too much money though. I was a proper complete prick. Spent like £100 on champagne. King Tug versus Warrington, Boxing Brains. That's a really good fight. That's a really good fight. I think I would take Warrington, but Tug's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Yeah, unrivaled on Champers. Yeah, I don't even like champagne, but I was that fucking hammered. I decided to buy champagne like an absolute dickhead. Yeah, exactly, unrivaled. 54 Trail Swan. I prefer ESPN, HBO, and PBC compared to DAZN. The atmosphere is dead. Yeah, the only thing about DAZN I don't like. It sounds really weird, for, like to say this, but like I don't like the ring design. I don't like the color scheme. That sounds really weird and really fucking. I don't know, but I don't like the color scheme on DAZN. To be honest with you, the atmosphere at Ramirez Hooker was quite good. It's quite decent. Big stiff idiot, as I said, probably the best name in the chat. Big stiff idiot. If Kaunetsky has a chin, he could go. Sorry, he could do something at heavyweight. I like his style. Yeah, I agree. If Kaunetsky had like an Oliver, let's say Kaunetsky had like an Oliver McCall type chin, that dude's a problem because he never stops throwing punches. He can do it round after round after round. That guy would be a problem. And also, the thing with Kaunetsky is he's got deceptive hand speed. Sorry, and his feet are surprisingly quick as well. His feet are quite quick. MB, Fox PBC have the best promotion in terms of how the arena looks on fight night. I think I would agree with that, to be honest with you. I think I would agree. My problem with Fox is the commentary. I think it's awful. But I agree with the presentation. In the UK, I much prefer BT's presentation, to be honest with you. I know that could be controversial to some. I know a lot of people like the Sky bright lights and presentation, but I prefer BT. But again, it is what it is, isn't it? It's what you prefer. The fights are the main thing, I guess. Well, they are. As he says, Kaunetsky was hurt by Martin, so his chin is questionable. Yeah, he was buzzed. He was buzzed by Martin. I actually think Kaunetsky was hurt more. Sorry, yeah, Kaunetsky was hurt more to the body against Charles Martin. Yeah, unrivaled. That's a good shout. Actually, the World Boxing Super Series does smash it. Yeah, their presentation is beautiful. Yeah, you're right. The entrances, the lighting, the ring, the arena looks beautiful. Really does. And you've got Ronald McIntosh commentating. What more can you want? Yeah, Earn with Hearn. Yeah, the PBC, their first few shows. Yeah, the those weird ring walks. Yeah, exactly. Terrible. Do you remember like the PBC? The first year of the PBC was 2015, and I swear down in 2015 there was literally a card every week from the PBC. Some on Tuesdays, some on Fridays, some on Saturdays, even some on Sundays. There was so many cards in the first year of the PBC. It's great. Not all great fights, but we had some good fights. Yeah, exactly. Shepherd of Sons, the World Boxing Super Series presentation takes a lot of money. Yeah, it does. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Box, I agree. Ronald McIntosh, listen, we all know him as the Black Skellington. He's become a meme because of Ty and Booth. But I think he's a really good commentator, in all seriousness. I really do. Um, he's got his own style. He's got his own, his vocabulary is is out there, I guess. But I like him. I think he's a good commentator. I think he's genuinely passionate for the sport. I actually like him, to be honest with you. I think he's a good commentator. I do. And he knows his sport. He knows his boxing as well. Sorry, he does know his boxing. He knows his boxing. You can tell he really studies the sport. So like if he's commentating where a prospect is fighting a journeyman, and this journeyman could be like 5-20 or something like that, and he can actually go into detail about the fights the journeyman had. You can tell this guy knows the sport and he studies it. So I like Ronald McIntosh. I appreciate he's not for everybody, but I like him personally. Yeah, Shepherd of Sons. I've heard the same thing. The PBC is dying since 2015. Yeah, it's not dying. Omnisurge Media. Did you like the first PBC card, Furman versus Guerrero? Yeah, it was a good card if I recall. I think there was Broner versus Molina on that card as well. And yeah, Furman versus Guerrero was a good fight. It was a good fight. Yeah, box. McIntosh. Yeah, he was neutral in the Warrington Galahad fight. Yep. He's a good commentator. You just get the sense he just likes boxing and he does his job properly. Like people complain about him, but I'd much rather listen to him than flipping Tony Bellew on commentary or someone like that. Yeah, I felt Galahad won 54 Trail Swan. I felt he beat Warrington, to be honest with you. I know it was very close, but for me, Galahad just landed the more eye-catching shots. He was the guy rocking the head back of Warrington. That's just how I saw it. Warrington had his flurries here and there, and you could score it to him based on work rate, I guess, and activity. But yeah, I had Galahad just about nicking it. Yo, Sporting Icons in the chat. What's going on, man? Yeah, unrivaled. Yeah, Mares was on the card as well. As he says, Galahad didn't do much. I agree, but like, I mean, ultimately, Warrington didn't really do much either. Yeah, box Barry Jones. To me, Barry Jones is hit and miss. Sometimes the thing I notice about Barry Jones, if it's like an international fight, he's actually quite good. I think he's solid. But when it comes to the BT fights with Frank Warren fighters, he can be very biased. In my opinion, he can be very biased. Same with John Rawling. I think he's quite bad as well. I'm not the biggest fan of John Rawling. Yeah, big up Sporting Icons. Okay, Shepherd of Sons. Looks like Valdez is about to duck Stevenson. Okay. Yeah, Stevenson is Valdez's mandatory. That would be a great fight. That's a shame if that actually is true. But one thing I will say, I've heard a rumor of Oscar Valdez potentially moving up and fighting Miguel Berchelt. If he does that, fair play. I won't be mad. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I do like Valdez. I like Stevenson a lot as well. It's a fight I want to see. It's a good style clash. I'd love to see Valdez versus Warrington, though. I mean, a Valdez versus Warrington would be a barn burner. That's the fight we've been. Well, Warren's been really kind of pushing to get made. Warrington versus Valdez. Unification fight. It's a great fight. It's a brilliant fight. And speaking of Warrington, Warrington is fighting he's fighting in October. And I've heard a rumor going around, and again, it's just a rumor, but I heard a rumor going around that he could be fighting Scott Quigg. So Scott Quigg versus Josh Warrington. I wouldn't be mad at that fight at all. I think it's a good fight. I think that's a good fight. Sporting Icons, he says, I rate Stevenson, but not confident he's ready for the champions at this stage. Yeah, I can see that. He's not battle tested, to be honest. He isn't battle tested. He's not really had any hard moments as a pro so far. So you do wonder what happens if, he jumps up to this level and things aren't going his own way. It's a good point. But in terms of like the eye test, to me, he looks the part. And I believe he's really competitive with anybody right now in that division. I really do. I agree, Omni-Surge Media. I said this on Twitter the other day. If that fight comes off, I believe Scott Quigg has a really good chance because in the pocket, I don't believe Scott Quigg would get overawed by Josh Warrington like Lee Selby did or like Frampton did. And he's not going to be negative like Kid Galahad. Quigg is big and strong and he punches hard. He's actually got real power. And in the pocket, he's not going to let Warrington bully him and outwork him with ease. But it's a really good fight. I think that's a great fight. I think Quigg would have a really good chance versus Warrington, to be honest. Wouldn't be shocked to see an upset. Oh yeah, I agree. Sporting Icons. That Oscar Valdez Scott Quigg fight was brutal, absolutely brutal. That was my favourite fight last year, to be quite honest. That was a brutal fight. Yeah, I agree. Sporting Icons. Quigg is like I like Quigg, but it is kind of hard to see what he's got left based on that Valdez fight. I still think he's got enough to trouble a lot of these guys personally, but we've got to see it. And I think the Warrington fight makes a lot of sense. If Warrington can't unify, then Scott Quigg would be a good opponent in my opinion. I think he'd be a very good opponent. Oh yeah, Ben Haynes. That's a really good shout. Andy Lee is a very good commentator. When he's on Sky, he is a breath of fresh air. He's a really good commentator and a classy guy as well. Very classy guy. Shepherd of Sons. Galahad got friend zoned. Yes, sir, he did. By Michelle Joy Phelps. Bless him. Bless him. I wonder what he's more gutted about, losing to Warrington or getting friend zoned by Michelle Joy Phelps. I wonder. I wonder. 54 Trail Swan. Valdez was at his peak when he fought Gradovich. Now he's been involved in too many wars. Could be the case. It could be the case. I used to be so high on Valdez on the come up before he was a champion. I used to be really high on him. But obviously, since that injury, we need to see what's left. We need to see how he looks when he steps up again. Yeah, I saw rumours of that sporting icons, Conlon Warrington. I've got to say, I would take Warrington quite convincingly in that fight. Conlon obviously was a brilliant amateur, but as a pro, I'm not really convinced yet, to be quite honest. I'm not really convinced. I think he could be one of those fighters where he's just not suited to the pro game. Time will tell, though. Time will tell. I'm not ruling him out, but I've not really been that impressed so far, I guess. Seems to lack power. I'm not sure whether he can keep these guys off him. Omnisurge Media, do you like Chris Albert and Ray Mancini's commentary on the lower Fox cards? I'm not. I'm not really a fan, mate. To be quite honest, I'm not really a fan. Not really a fan. Chris Albert's okay. Ray Mancini, not so much. Not so much. Yeah, with Hearn. Yeah, he's got a book out, Andy Lee. Yeah, called Fighter. I've heard good things about it. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter who rave about it. Might have to give it a read. Might have to give it a read. Yeah, that's a good question. Sporting icons. What do you make of the PBC boycotting the WBO? First and foremost, I mean, it would be nice for these guys to actually come out with an explanation for why they are not recognizing that belt for a start. Ultimately, the WBO belt is universally recognized as a major sanctioning belt, sorry. So an explanation would be nice for a start, but I mean, it just seems, is it to keep Crawford at bay? Is it to try and, brush him aside and pretend he doesn't exist? I mean, I'm not sure. It's bizarre to me. There's no reason for it. I mean, they've got WBO champions. Ruiz holds that belt, for example. I mean, I really don't get the point of it. I don't get it. Maybe it's because of Crawford. He's kind of trying to put the heat on Errol Spence, trying to call him out. It's weird. It really is weird. Yeah, I read that. I read that Mike Coppinger thinks because it's that the WBO favour Warren and Arum. Again, though, like every sanctioning body, like the WBC, tends to favour it. Well, it does. It favours Mexicans and Americans. The WBO, yeah, Warren and Arum, fair enough. But it is what it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And maybe that's what it is, Tone. Maybe it's because they don't want to do business with Bob Arum. Yeah, maybe that's right. Oh yeah, Omnisurge Media. Al Bernstein is very good. I think he's a very good commentator. Yeah, he's not biased at all. He's quite good. As he says, I missed Lampley. He was the voices of boxing to me. Yeah, I did like Jim Lampley, but towards the end, I felt HBO got a bit tired their commentary, and I weren't a fan towards the end. HBO was great when it was Kellerman, Emmanuel Stewart, Jim Lampley, and Larry Merchant, and also Roy Jones. Those five were brilliant. I loved that commentary team. That was a great, just a, I don't know, they had that big fight feel, to be honest. But yeah, I enjoyed that commentary team. I really did. Yeah, sporting icons, and they totally ignored Terence Crawford as a champion. Absolute joke. They recognised Pacquiao's lesser WBA belt though. A joke. Absolute joke. Dominic Cecchery, I'm high on John Doherty. Yeah, the super middleweight. He looks like a very good prospect. Looks like he carries some power as well. Yeah, good prospect. I like him. Azzy, yeah, and Foreman. Yeah, George Foreman, obviously. Yeah, he commentated on HBO. That was a bit before my time, but obviously I've gone back and watched certain fights. And yeah, he was a good commentator. I wouldn't say he was a good commentator, but just something about his presence that you just appreciated. I don't know what it was. The Quags, I don't miss Lampley at all. I'm tired of watching him cry every time he turns on the air conditioning. Yeah, no, he was a bit emotional, but he was decent. He was decent. Sporting icons, John Doherty's a great lad. I was the first channel to interview him as a pro. Nice. I remember his debut last year, man. He's a good prospect. He's a good prospect. MB, I think Billy Joe Saunders is about to leave Frank Warren. Really? Do you have any sources, or just like do you just think that's what's going to happen? Because that would be interesting if Billy Joe went somewhere else, like with Matchroom, for example. It'd be interesting. But Billy Joe, he just kind of he's in obscurity. He's just I don't know, man. With Billy Joe, he's wasted so many years. Now he really wants to step up, and he's not getting the fights. Dominic Cecchery, if Adam Smith was commentating the Hooker fight, the microphone would have broke. Adam Smith, listen, man. In terms of his work with Sky, as in like being the head of boxing, I really do believe he's open for criticism. I mean, we all know about the talk of the standard of Sky's shows getting worse. But as a commentator, I don't think Adam Smith is bad. I don't think he's terrible, to be quite honest. Actually, he's quite a good hype man as a commentator. A bit biased, yeah, fair enough. But I think in the right commentary team, I actually think Adam Smith could be quite good as a commentator. But yeah, I do think as a commentator he gets a bit too much stick. But that's just my opinion. MB, Frank's done an interview on BT Sports today. Okay. Really? In regards to what? Billy Joe's future? I'll have to have a look at it. I'll have to have a look at that. Sporting icons, yeah, exactly. Did Christian Hammer know that Tyson Fury failed a UCAD test in the same month he fought him when Warren promoted the show? Well, there you go. There you go. Did Warren know Tyson Fury failed a test before he fought Christian Hammer? Did anybody ask Warren? Did any journalist ask him? I'm not sure. There you go. There you go. And the thing is, with Fury, with Dillian White, the main question is like, and this is really the only question for me that actually matters. Yeah, these guys were cleared to fight, as they say, but can you prove beyond reasonable doubt that these guys were not cheating? If there's any doubt in that answer, then you should not have let these guys fight. If you can't prove beyond reasonable doubt that these guys weren't cheating, then potentially you've got a guy who's been juicing fighting a clean athlete, and that should not happen. I mean, ultimately, we'll find out what happens with Dillian White. Time will tell, but like, I don't know, man. The way you CAD, I don't know. I don't know, man. I think, to be honest, I just think it's Frank just trying to stick the knife in. You know, there we go. There we go. Yeah, exactly, Azzy. I mean, a lot of journalists are, let's be honest, they're scared to ask Warren tough questions because they know he will stop their press pass. And listen, man, fact of the matter is, a lot of these dudes, they go around asking questions, but they're not going to ask the questions that we want answering. They're scared to lose their press passes. They just ask the same mundane questions. Oh, blah 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 blah. What about this card next weekend? What do you think of it? I mean, yeah, it's a load of BS, man. It's a load of BS. I don't feel sorry for Eddie Hearn in the slightest, by the way, but Warren is a hypocrite, 100%, 100%, because I'm sure he knew about Tyson Fury before he fought Christian Hammer. I'm sure he knew. He must have known. And ultimately, I mean, this dude, I mean, he can't really be pointing fingers and judging other people's moral compasses. Ultimately, let's be honest about it. Yeah, exactly, Nordic Warrior. You've hit the nail on the head. He likes to virtue signal about drugs while promoting Saunders and Fury. Exactly. Exactly. But all of these promoters are the same, man. They're all full of shit. They're all full of shit. Shepherd of Sons. Barbershop asks for hard questions. Yeah. Fucking hell. uh, yeah. With her, and I remember that as well. Carl Crotch, yeah. Was that the Glenn Johnson fight? Maybe. I think it might have been. Was it the Glenn Johnson fight? Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Oh yeah, Nordic. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Warren is a very bitter, vindictive type of person. He really is. If somebody leaves him, he's really not got a good word to say about them. Look at guys like Ricky Burns, for example, and people like that. I mean, Ricky Burns is like a class act. I know usually I'll never call somebody like a class actor I've never met, but that guy just comes across as like a proper gentleman. And the way Warren dealt with that was a disgrace as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Warren is like a bitter, vindictive old man. Okay, it was the Durrell fight. Okay, Carl Crotch. I felt he lost that fight as well, by the way. I felt Crotch lost to Durrell. I know Durrell fought a really negative fight, but Crotch really didn't have much success in that at all. Yeah, Omni-Surge Media. I totally agree. I mean, in a world where unicorns exist and there's a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, we would love drug testing. But ultimately, until there's a day where there's a universal drug testing agency with universal punishments, it's pointless. What's the point when you've got all of these different standards, these different agencies, these different rules, these different regulations? What's the point in drug testing? Honestly, it's uh, it's pointless, man. Big up the unicorns, exactly. I mean, look at the Billy Joe Saunders situation, for example. According to UCAD, this dude did not cheat, but in the states, was it in Michigan or something? The guy was a PED cheat. It's pointless. I mean, ultimately, I would rather have no or very little drug testing right now. It would be a lot fairer, in my opinion. I know that's going to upset a lot of people, but that's just the way I feel about it. And listen, in the last decade, we've had it where fighters have dictated or tried to dictate what drug testing agency is used for a certain fight. If you can't see that that's a conflict of interest, I don't know what to tell you. It should never be down to a fighter who tests for a fight. It shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned. But there we go. There we go. That's just my opinion on it. It's pointless, ultimately. Like I said, if we had a magical scenario where drug testing was implemented across the board fairly, it'd be great. But it's not going to happen. Who's going to pay for it? The sanctioning bodies, the promoters, the fighters? Fuck knows. Who's going to pay for it? Impossible. It's impossible to do properly. So yeah, it's impossible. And by the way, lads, you guys all you guys know Sporting Icons. Check his channel out. Excellent channel. Same with Nordic Warrior as well. Excellent channel. I've been sub to both for a little while now. I've been sub to Nordic for like a long time. A long time. I've been sub to Sporting for a long time as well, actually. I think just after Klitschko Joshua. No worries, Nordic man. No worries. Yeah, I heard Pacquiao and Furman were tested, but like that fight, people were moaning about Novada, whatever. I mean, it seemed like an even playing field, and to me, that's the main thing. And it was a great fight. Oh yeah, Sporting Icons, America. Yeah, it's just as shady as the UK in regards to drug testing. I don't think anybody's in the position to be like pointing fingers. The UK, the US are quite bad. Yeah, exactly, Nordic. That's how I said. That's how I said it. Like Furman could have been on anything, but yeah, Pacquiao is always the guy who gets the blame ultimately. Like I said, the way I saw that fight, it was an even playing field, and as I said, it made for a really good fight. And listen, man, let's be honest about it. After 6 rounds, Pacquiao started to gas. So if that guy was on anything, obviously weren't very effective. But yeah, it was a great fight, man. Really, really fun fight. People really should just enjoy it, you know? There wasn't really a loser in that fight. Obviously, Furman lost the fight, but like his reputation right now, it's not taken a dramatic hit because of the fight was so good. Oliver 2000, go on BFTB. Nah, fuck that noise. I got nothing to say to people like that. I can't change his mind. I can't have any civil conversation with him. What's the point? There's no point. Literally no point. Okay, so there was VADA for Pacquiao Furman, the New York State Athletic Commission. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Azzy, that's the thing I was surprised about. So going into that fight, I felt once Keith Furman got touched a few times, he would get on his bike and start to backpedal. That's what I thought would happen. But to his credit, he actually he tried to trade, he tried to have a war, and he actually came to fight. He came to fight. Fair play to him. I thought he'd run. I really felt he'd run after he got caught a few times. But he showed some good toughness. Got hurt. He got hurt badly to the body, man, and he saw out the round. Got his face busted up, but yeah, he remained really tough. Proved his durability. Well, he proved his toughness in that fight. Proved his heart. I think they will sporting icons. If they make Pacquiao versus the winner of Spence Furman, yeah, I think they will bill it as an undisputed fight. Yeah, I do. Because they're pretending Crawford isn't a real champion now. Yeah, Nordic, he's like a Deontay Wilder fanboy. Yep, Nordic Warrior, Crawford, he needs to cross the street. Yeah, exactly. Fucking embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And these guys always moan that certain fighters in the States don't get supported. But, these guys are so willing to throw they throw their own guys under the bus so quickly. And Crawford is just another, victim of that, you know? And say what you want about Crawford and his resume. His resume isn't the strongest, but one thing I will say, I do genuinely believe that guy wants to fight everybody. I do honestly believe he wants to fight these guys at welterweight, but he's being frozen out, and certain people over there are accepting it and encouraging it, you know? But there you go. It is what it is, These guys out there are full of shit. A lot of these guys are full of shit. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, lads, I've got an early start tomorrow. I'm going to end this stream. I think I will have one more before these hangouts end, maybe on Wednesday, I'd say. Well, it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. So, yeah, thank you guys for all showing out. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comments. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.